If the world has ever made you feel like you don't belong, like no one truly sees you, understands you, or even wants to, you're not broken. You're not cursed. You're chosen. And this misunderstanding, it's not a coincidence. It's the consequence of your calling. From the moment you entered this world, something about you felt different, not just to you, but to everyone around you. You've likely noticed how people react to your presence even before you say a word. Some are drawn to you, others are intimidated by you, and many just don't know what to make of you. That's because chosen ones aren't here to fit in. They're here to shake the foundations of comfort, to awaken what others are still asleep to. And most people fear what they don't understand. You see, being misunderstood isn't just an experience. For the chosen, it's a pattern. It starts in childhood. Maybe you asked deeper questions than others. You felt things others ignored. You saw through lies others accepted as truth. While others played pretend, you searched for purpose. And what did that get you? Labels. Too sensitive, too intense, too serious. But that was never the truth. The truth is, your depth threatened their comfort. Your light exposed their shadows. And instead of trying to understand you, they chose to misunderstand you. Because that was easier. As you grew older, the misunderstanding didn't fade. It evolved. Friends became distant. Family members couldn't relate. You began to walk through life with an invisible wall between you and the world. Not because you wanted to isolate, but because no matter how hard you tried to explain who you were, words fell short. You learned to stop sharing your visions, your dreams, your inner knowing. Not because you didn't believe in them, but because others couldn't hold space for what you saw. They called you crazy, delusional, or too much. But deep down, you knew they were just too little for the magnitude of your truth. The loneliness that comes with being misunderstood isn't just emotional, it's spiritual. It feels like being exiled in your own life. But here's what most people won't tell you. This exile is sacred, because it's in this space of being set apart that the chosen one is refined. God hides his greatest vessels in the shadows before revealing them to the world. He lets you be misunderstood so you can learn to trust his voice over the noise of others. And that voice, it's always been guiding you through the betrayals, the silence, the abandonment. Because every time someone misunderstood you, God was protecting you from being misused. He was saying, you're not for everyone. And you aren't. You're not meant to be. Chosen ones are designed to disturb the status quo, not become part of it. And those who are asleep will always resent the alarm clock that tries to wake them. People misunderstood Jesus. People misunderstood prophets. People misunderstood every revolutionary soul that dared to live in alignment with something higher than the world's expectations. So why should your journey be any different? The truth is, if you've never been misunderstood, you've probably never stood in your full power. But let's go even deeper, because this isn't just about how others perceive you. It's about how you've come to perceive yourself. Years of being misunderstood can make you doubt your own voice. It can make you shrink, second-guess, and silence the very essence of who you are just to survive in a world that doesn't see you. That's the real tragedy. That's the real test. But what if I told you? The misunderstanding is the fire that forges your clarity. That every person who rejected you, every situation that made you question your worth, it was all part of your activation. You weren't meant to be molded by this world. You were meant to disrupt it, rebuild it, transcend it. And to do that, you had to be broken away from it. That's why the chosen ones are often born into dysfunction, into families that can't hold their frequency, communities that suppress their spirit, and environments that try to dim their light. Because God doesn't send his warriors to places of ease. He sends them to battlegrounds. He places them in places of pain so they can become healers. He puts them where misunderstanding runs deep so they can become the voice of clarity. You've spent so long trying to explain yourself to people who were never meant to understand you. That's why it's never felt right. That's why their approval never filled the emptiness, because your spirit wasn't built to be accepted, it was built to be anointed. So stop waiting for the world to get you. They weren't designed to. Stop waiting for permission to be who you already are. You're not here to make sense to the world. You're here to remind the world of what it forgot. And that means some people will resent you. Some will mock you. Others will just walk away. But the real ones, the awakened ones, they'll feel your energy before they ever understand your words. They'll resonate with your truth before they even grasp your story. Because chosen ones speak in frequency, not just in language. You were never here to be liked. You were here to be felt. And that's the shift. When you stop needing to be understood, you step into your real power. Because power doesn't beg. Power doesn't chase validation. Power stands tall, even when alone, knowing that the misunderstanding is proof of the mission. They misunderstood your silence. They misunderstood your vision. They misunderstood your peace, your pain, your passion. But it doesn't matter anymore, because you finally understand yourself. And that's all you ever needed. But this story, it's not done. There's something deeper happening behind the scenes of your misunderstood life. There's a reason your path has been so unusual, your calling so hidden, and your transformation so silent. Because what's coming next will reveal what they never saw coming. In part 2, we go even deeper into the spiritual strategy behind why chosen ones are hidden in plain sight, how misunderstanding protects your destiny, and why your time of isolation was actually divine preparation. The veil is lifting, and once you see the full picture, you'll never question your role again. They never saw what you were becoming in the shadows, while they were busy misunderstanding you, mocking your silence, dismissing your dreams. Something sacred was being built inside you. The silence wasn't punishment. The isolation wasn't a curse. It was divine incubation. God hid you on purpose. Chosen ones are not overlooked by accident. They are concealed by design, because what you carry is too precious to be exposed too soon. You're not like the rest, and your path won't be either. While others rush ahead to be seen, the chosen one is held back to be sharpened. While others chase applause, you are taught to find peace in being unseen, because when you finally emerge, it won't be noise that surrounds you, it'll be power. You were misunderstood because people sensed something in you that they couldn't name. An energy, a presence, a frequency that made them uncomfortable, not because you did anything wrong, but because you reminded them of everything they were avoiding. That's what chosen ones do. They walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. And that unsettles people who are still hiding from themselves. They didn't reject you. They rejected what your presence awakened in them. You didn't break the relationship. Your truth did. You didn't lose friends. Your light exposed their shadows. This wasn't abandonment. It was alignment. It was God pruning your path. It was the divine pulling away what couldn't go where you're going. And here's the thing most people miss. The misunderstanding isn't just social. It's spiritual warfare. The enemy's first strategy is always confusion. If he can't stop your purpose, he'll try to make you question it. He'll use people to mislabel you, misjudge you, mistreat you, until you start to silence your own power. But hear this clearly. Every time someone misunderstood you, heaven understood you. Every time they said, "You're too much," God said, "You're just enough for what I'm about to do." There's a reason your battles have felt heavier. There's a reason your spirit feels things others don't. You weren't born for comfort. You were born for calling. And that calling requires clarity. That's why you had to walk through seasons where no one clapped for you, no one validated you, no one showed up for you. Because those moments taught you to listen to the only voice that matters, the one within. The chosen ones are often warriors in disguise, not because they carry swords, but because they carry presence. You're the mirror they weren't ready to face, the light they weren't ready to see. And so they made you the villain in their stories, because that was easier than admitting they couldn't match your vibration. But now, the tables are turning. The misunderstanding is becoming revelation. People are starting to see that the one they dismissed was the one carrying the answer. The one they rejected was the one sent to bless them. You've been through fire, and you didn't just survive it. You became it. And now, you carry a heat that no lie can stand against. That's why your time is now. The hiding season is ending. The misunderstood one is being revealed. And when God reveals you, no one can deny you. The same mouths that doubted you will speak your name with awe. The same eyes that looked down on you will look up in wonder. But here's the key. Your mission was never to be praised. It was to fulfill purpose. And now you're ready. Because now you understand why the path was so lonely. Why the room felt cold. Why the crowd didn't cheer. You were never supposed to be molded by them.